is ASIC. Can anyone tell me the full form of ASIC? What is IC and what is ASIC difference? What does IC stands for?
Integrated circuits.
Integrated circuit. How an integrated circuit is made? What is the base layer that is used here?
Silicon chip.
Yes, silicon.
Silicon.
Which is nothing but a wafer. What is the another name for wafer? All these are same. Wafer, bulk, body, substrate, everything is same. So IC is nothing but integrated circuit which contains both active and passive components. What are the active and passive components? Examples?
Resistance, capacitance, inductance.
Active or passive? RLC. They are passive components. Means they will absorb energy. Whereas the components which give away energy are called as active components. So now here we're going to see about ASIC, application specific integrated circuit. A stands for application. S means specification. So application specific integrated circuit means, so what is the general difference between GPIO? GPIO is nothing but general purpose input output. Similarly, we'll have general purpose microprocessors and microcontrollers. So what does general purpose and what does ASIC mean? What is the main differences? Suppose if it is general purpose, it can be used for any kind of an application. Suppose if it is application specific, means it will work only for one particular application. Okay, that is the major differences here. So ASIC is basically an integrated circuit designed specifically for a special purpose or application, means only one application. It will work for only one application. Whereas the general purpose microprocessors and controllers will work for all the applications. So strictly speaking, an ASIC is built for only one customer. Means for one customer means depending upon the requirement of the customer, we will design this particular integrated circuit. So the opposite of an ASIC is standard IC or general purpose IC, means the microprocessors and controllers. Such a logic gate or general purpose microcontrollers, both of which can be used in any electronic application by anybody. So this is a major difference. This can be used for any application, whereas ASIC can be used for only one particular application. So further, application specific integrated circuits are classified into three types. One is full custom, one is semi-custom, next one is programmable ASIC. So I'll tell the major differences between this. So full custom is nothing but we will try to build this IC right from the scratch. Okay. Whereas if it is semi-custom, we will make use of standard cell library. What is standard cell library?
All the gates, primitive gates are present in the MCU.
Yes, all the primitive gates will be present. Primitive gates. So it includes both combinational followed by sequential circuits also. So suppose if you want to design any particular IC, you can make use of this particular libraries. So in the previous class, we have seen how to design the synchronous counters by using different kinds of flip-flops. Okay, similar manner. Here also we'll make use of this particular library. Means there we have written the code for D flip-flop, and again from our main source code, we have called this D flip-flop 4 times. So initially what I told, this particular code should be present within our system initially, so that by means of an add source, we can call this particular D flip-flop, means adding this particular thing into our main project and again calling it depending upon our requirement. So similarly, here also we'll make use of standard cell library. So which one will be better, full custom or semi-custom, depending upon these two things?
Semi-custom.
Semi-custom. Why? Because right from the scratch, if you go, it will take more amount of time and the cost will also increase. So that's the reason. Suppose if you go for semi-custom, directly we can drag and drop from the library so that we can build the IC within less amount of time with reduced cost. So last one is programmable application specific integrated circuit. So again, they're further classified into SPLDs, CPLD, and FPGA. They're nothing but programmable. In the last class, we have seen some of the concept like this, like PROM, PAL, and PLA. Can anyone tell me what are the differences between these three?
PROM is fixed and programmable OR.
PROM is fixed and programmable OR. Okay.
PAL is fixed or programmable AND.
Okay.
PLA is both are programmable.
Okay. Both are programmable. So programmable is indicated with
Cross mark.
correct. Programmable means it should be indicated with cross. Fixed means
Dot.
fixed means dot. Remember this one. And I want to ask you one question. Suppose we have discussed memories also like ROM and RAM. Among this, which one is combinational and which one is sequential? Is ROM combinational or sequential? Read only memory. Read only memory. This is combinational. Whereas RAM is sequential. Why ROM is combinational? What we did in PROM?
Decoder.
Fixed. Yes, decoder we have used fixed and programmable OR. So there, this particular AND is implemented by using decoder. So we know that decoder is nothing but a combinational circuit. So that's the reason ROM is something which we call as combinational circuit and RAM is sequential. So to understand the differences among these three, it is useful to understand the basic building blocks of application specific integrated circuit. So generally this question will be asked. So you have to draw the architecture of either ASIC or else the FPGA. So the ASIC architecture consists of these two cells followed by metal interconnects. Before going through metal interconnect, can anyone tell me the working of FET? How gate layer is implemented in field effect transistor? You can take anything, either depletion or enhancement. Gate is made of what? What is the metal that you are using to implement gate? Have you heard this one? Polysilicon. So gate is made up of one kind of metal, which is nothing but a polysilicon. And before the existence of polysilicon, aluminium was used. So what made me to switch from aluminium to polysilicon means scalability. Scaling. So scaling is nothing but changing W/L ratio, means width and length can be modified if I make use of polysilicon. Suppose if I go with aluminium, the scaling is not possible. So earlier gate was implemented by using aluminium as a metal, but now they are making use of polysilicon. Remember this point. And what is meant by width and what is meant by length in FET? Width and length. The first class I've told you all this. What is length? What is technology?
Technology means length of channel, sir.
Okay, technology means length of the channel. Length of the channel means distance from
Gate to source.
gate to source or source to drain. Source to drain distance is called as length of the channel, which is nothing but a technology. So if you take like this, suppose I'm taking NPN, NP and N. When N and PN joined, depletion region will be formed. So here one more depletion region. And what is the first layer here?
SiO2.
Oxide, which is nothing but SiO2, which acts as an insulator. Above this, polysilicon, which will act as a metal. So the distance from here to here is nothing but length of the channel. Okay, and the three-dimensional view, if you observe, the top portion is called as width. Remember this one. So length is nothing but the distance from source to drain, whereas width means if you observe it three-dimensional, it will be very easy for you to understand the above portion. Okay, so the ASIC, the important parts are cells followed by metal interconnects. A cell is an abstraction of logical functionality that is physically implemented by active component, which is nothing but a transistor. When several of these cells are interconnected by the metal interconnects, they make up an application specific integrated circuit. So standard cell library. So as you are already told, standard cell library is something which contains basic gates, multiplexers, adders, flip-flops. I mean, simply you can take all the combinational as well as sequential circuits within the standard cell library. So generally the standard cell library is mostly used while designing semi-custom integrated circuits. Whereas for full custom, we won't use anything. We will design everything right from the scratch. So it will work only for one particular application. So any modifications we can't do once if it is designed. So using this predefined cells from the cell library makes the ASIC design process much easier. So let us see the figure. So application specific integrated circuit is classified like this. So first one is full custom, second one semi-custom, third one is programmable ASIC. So full custom means everything right from the scratch we will build, and what else? It will work only for one particular application. Whereas semi-custom means again it is classified into two types. One is standard cell based, next one is gate array based. And if you observe this gate array, it is again classified into three types: channeled, channelless, and structured. Coming to programmable ASICs, so SPLDs, we have already covered this one: programmable array logic and programmable logic array, a problem you can expect from this question. Next, CPLD is one theory. Next one will be FPGA, field programmable gate array. What is CPLD full form? Complex programmable logic device. CPLD. FPGA means field programmable gate array. So here this is nothing but programmable. Whereas this application specific integrated circuit is something which we can't program. Means once if we design, we can't do anything. Suppose if it is full custom, right from the scratch we will do. And if it is semi-custom, we will make use of library. So at least this much amount of knowledge you need to have. So full custom. So in a full custom application specific integrated circuit, some logic cells and mask layers are customized, pre-specified by the user. So based on the requirement of the user, you have to start designing this particular integrated circuit. A full custom ASIC cannot be modified to suit different applications, and it is generally produced as a single specific product for a particular application only. Whereas if you go for the general purpose integrated circuits like microprocessors or controllers, it can be used for any kind of an application, whereas this one is used for only one particular thing. So the benefits of full custom design usually include a reduced area. So in the starting class, I've told you this VLSI completely depends upon power, area, and delay. So what is the relationship between delay and speed? You can include this one also, performance or speed. What is the relationship between delay and speed?
Inversely proportional.
Correct. Delay is inversely proportional to speed. So our main motto should be to reduce the delay. Suppose if you reduce the delay, then obviously speed will increase, because of which performance will increase. And it depends upon one law called as Moore's law. Can anyone tell me what is Moore's law? For every 18 months,
Number of transistors used in a circuit doubles.
then what will happen to the area?
Increases.
Area increases or decreases? If you are increasing the number of components, at the same time you are
Area
reducing the size.
increases.
Suppose if this is the substrate, so which can accommodate 100 transistors. Now technology scaling. Technology scaling means
Reducing or increasing the length of channel.
so generally take as reduced length of the channel. If channel length reduces, then it leads to some of the special concepts called as short channel effects, and it also reduces to reduce in the size of the component. So if the size of the components reduces, then suppose instead of 100, I can accommodate 200. Okay, or else you can also reduce the area, followed by you can reduce the component size also. Anything is possible, but it will revolve among only these parameters: area, power, delay, and speed. So So next, coming to the disadvantages of full custom, increased manufacturing and design time. Why it is increasing? Disadvantage of full custom, increased manufacturing and design time.
From the scratch.
Right,
From
from
the
the scratch we are building, so that's why obviously it will take more amount of time. And increased non-recurring engineering cost. Non-recurring means, recurring means like a regular amount. So we can calculate our expense at regular amounts, whereas if it is non-recurring means at irregular intervals of time, means without expectation the cost will increase. Next, more complexity in the CAD system. Computer aided system means CAD tools. So different kinds of tools you can expect, like from the Cadence, several tools are there, and from Mentor Graphics, few tools are there.
సార్ ఇప్పుడు ASIC డిజైన్ ఫ్లో అంటే ఇదంతా రాయాలా సార్? ఫుల్ కస్టమ్, సెమీ కస్టమ్.
ఇది ASIC డిజైన్ ఫ్లో కాదు, క్లాసిఫికేషన్స్ ఆఫ్ ASICs ఇది. మళ్ళీ ASIC డిజైన్ ఫ్లో అంటే
Okay, sir.
సపరేట్ అది ఫ్లో. టూ కాన్సెప్ట్స్ ఉంటాయి, లైక్ ASIC డిజైన్ ఫ్లో, నెక్స్ట్ వన్ ఇస్ FPGA డిజైన్ ఫ్లో. So in order to understand that flow, first you need to understand internal designing parts of ASICs followed by FPGA. You'll get this one for short. So the simple concept that you have to remember is, if it is full custom, building from the scratch. If it is semi-custom, you can make use of standard cell library. Only that point you need to remember. So next one is semi-custom ASIC. So here we'll make use of libraries. It is classified into how many types?
2 types.
Cell-based. Okay.
Gate array.
Gate array. Again, gate array is classified into
3 types.
what are they?
Channelless, structured.
Okay. So semi-custom. In a semi-custom ASIC, logic cells are predefined. Means everything will be available readily in your library. If you want, you can make use of them. Unlike full custom ASIC, semi-custom ASICs are designed to allow a certain degree of modifications during the manufacturing process. So two types, cell-based and gate array. So coming to standard cell-based ASIC. So by means of this figure, we shall try to understand this one. So standard cell-based ASICs use pre-designed logic cells. So pre-designed logic cells will be available in your standard cell library. Each cell in the CBIC, means cell-based integrated circuit, is individually designed and tested by simulation in the technology of use for speed, driving capabilities, and other performance criteria. So they are tested in terms of technology. Technology means for various
Length and width.
for various lengths of the channel, means by varying different W/L ratios. The standard cell area, also known as flexible block in a CBIC, are built of rows of standard cells. So you can expect this one. So before understanding this figure, you need to know about what is meant by a core and what is meant by a die. Any idea on this? What is core and what is die? See this internal portion where we place all our cells is called as a core, whereas this external part is called as a die. And the space which is present between here are used for the sake of port, means input output connections. You can call them as IOBs, input output blocks. Okay, the space is used for interconnections, means in order to connect the peripherals, you'll use this empty space. This outer portion is called as die, and our actual logic sits here, which is nothing but a core part. So you can call them as macros also. So you should call them as macros in terms of gate array library. So there will be an array library for gate arrays also. There macros will be present. So macros are nothing but again all these circuits only, like combinational and sequential. Okay, so first this is a major difference which you need to understand. Outer one is called as die and inner portion is called as core. So here also same thing. These outer boxes are called as IOBs, input output blocks, where interconnections can be made, and these are nothing but fixed blocks in terms of height and width. Okay, and this is nothing but a standard cell area. Suppose make a note that whenever there is a channel, means suppose an empty space is present. This empty space I am calling it as a channel. So channel is generally used for the sake of routing. What is meant by routing? Routing means
How
wiring.
packets are delivered.
Okay, how packets are delivered, or simply interconnection between the different logic blocks. So routing means wiring. So whenever there is an empty space, we will make use of that particular empty space for the sake of routing. So the standard cell area may be used in combination with larger pre-designed cells, perhaps microcontrollers or even microprocessors known as mega cells. The ASIC designer defines only the placement of the standard cells and the interconnect in a CBIC. What is meant by placement and what is meant by routing? And what is floor plan? In VLSI design flow, in the starting first class, I've told you what is partitioning, what is floor planning, what is routing. Partitioning, floor planning, and routing. Will it comes under front end or back end?
Backend.
They comes under back end. So back end is something we will do all this by means of tools, either Cadence tools or Mentor Graphics tools. Whereas all this Verilog, system Verilog, UVM, all this comes under front end, means coding part. Whereas all this partitioning, floor planning, placement comes under back end, which you can call it as physical design. PD, physical design. So floor planning is nothing but, suppose if this is the amount of area which is available to you, suppose take this as some open plot. So suppose if you want to construct your house, you'll go for some blueprint. So in that blueprint, he will tell you that this portion can be used for the sake of bedroom. Suppose this is the amount of portion that can be used for kitchen, like that. So this is nothing but some partitioning is done depending upon the total area, and after proper measurements, placement will be done. Okay, partitioning, floor planning, placement, and again routing. So in detail, I'll try to explain you this one while discussing the flow of ASIC followed by FPGA. Okay, see here. However, the standard cells can be placed anywhere on the silicon, which means that all the mask layers of CBIC are customized and are unique to a particular customer. So you can illustrate everything by means of an figures. Just by means of this figure, you have to explain this one. So obviously it will come for either short note or for 2 marks. Anything you can expect, either semi-custom or full custom. If not, you can expect CPLD architecture or else FPGA architecture, completely theory based. So just some basic knowledge you need to have so that easily you can write. Just try to remember the diagrams so that easily you can explain. So next one is nothing but gate array based. So gate array is further classified into channeled, channelless, and structured. So in a gate array or gate array based ASIC, the transistors and other active devices are pre-designed on a silicon wafer, which is nothing but a substrate. The predefined pattern of transistors on a gate array is nothing but a base array. So this predefined pattern is called as base array, and the elements that we use is called as base cell. Next one, the another name for gate array is nothing but MGA, which is nothing but masked gate array. Why? Because pre-designing of transistors is done directly on the silicon wafer. So here also gate array library will be present, and the components that are present in it will be called as macros. So gate array is further classified into channeled, channelless, and structured. This channeled gate array means there will be channel available between two different rows. In a channeled gate array, space is left between rows of transistors for wiring. Suppose if graph is present something like this. Okay, and this empty space is nothing but a channel. So obviously, if there is a channel, this channel be used for the sake of routing. Means for the sake of wiring, we can make use of this. And this internal part is called as core. External one is called as die, and the small blocks are called as IOBs, which is used for the sake of interconnections. So the transistors must be arranged in such a way that optimum utilization of area is possible. So the main concentration is towards the interconnection. So suppose if there is a space available, then definitely it can be used for the sake of routing. So some of the features. Only the routing mechanism is customized. The interconnect is possible only through predefined spaces between rows of base cells. Just now I told you, these are nothing but rows of base cells. Empty space is called as channel. This can be used for the sake of routing. Then what will be happening for channel-less? How the graph looks? Channel-less means no channel. Means over the transistor routing will be done. Observe here. If you observe, there is no gap present between these particular rows. Means no channel is available, so we can't make routing. So over the transistors we can make routing. So the routing on a channel-less gate array uses rows of unused transistors. The space left can be used for proper and efficient routing, but more than 30% of the space may now be used at all. So which one will be better, channel-less or channeled? And the density of components will be more in channel-less or channeled?
Channel-less is used, sir.
Channel-less is used. Why? Because the density, more number of components we can accommodate, but the disadvantage with this is routing is not possible. So in this case, wastage is very large. So these are some of the points which you need to write. Only preference will be given for this particular diagram. Channel-less means by drawing this diagram you have to explain, and if it is channeled means you need to draw this diagram perfectly. Simply you need to indicate that channel is available, which can be used for the sake of routing, whereas here channel is not there, so routing can't be done, and routing is done over the transistors. And because of channel-less, more amount of space is available for the sake of component, so density will be more. So this much if you write, it will be more than enough. Then what will happen for this structured gate array? This is nothing but a combination of both cell based and gate array, all included in one thing. So a structured or embedded gate array can be either channeled or channel-less, but it includes a custom block. So this is nothing but a custom block, and this is nothing but array of few base cells. So you can't observe this one carefully, like it looks something like this, like a row of standard cells. Suppose the space is available, you can make it for routing. Suppose if space is not there, routing is done over the transistors. So programmable ASICs is very easy. We already covered PLD. So in PLDs, programmable logic devices, we have covered PROM, PAL, and PLA. And one more thing will be GLA. So from these three, you can expect one problem. And full custom or semi-custom, one short question. Next one is FPGA architecture and CPLD architecture. Okay, so here you can expect 10. So 2 marks, this is 2 marks, and generally this question is coming for 5 and 5. So this much if you are perfect with unit number 5, it will be enough. Any doubts still here?
No, sir.